So you need a marketing strategy. Well, luckily for you today, we're going to be going by step on how you can build a marketing strategy today. Now you're going to want to stick around to the end of the video because I'm actually going to be showing you questions that we personally ask our prospective clients, or even when we're onboarding our clients, that help them understand and learn and achieve their goals and setting a solid marketing strategy for themselves. So today I'm going to break this video up into 3 segments, which is kind of foreshadowing. Anyways, 3 segments of the video, and each are going to be step by step. So you need to follow these step by step. So don't just skip to the last part of the video, or else it's not going to be nearly as effective as if you just watch it all the way through. Now the first step to this, in the first segment, is obviously you need to know your product or service. Now I'm not saying you need to have everything down to the T and all your little features and you don't ever have to expand. I'm just saying you have to know generally what it is you're going to be selling. Now once you obviously know your product and service, this leads to the real first segment of this video, and that is your STP plan. Now the STP plan is just fancy words, or it's an acronym for segmenting, targeting, and then positioning. This is extremely important because even though you may have a product or service, you need to know exactly who you're going to be targeting and how you're going to be targeting them. So for the segmenting portion, all this is asking is it's identifying groups of people or a group of people to serve. In the example of our business, what we do and what our service is we specialize in everything reviews, meaning we specialize in requesting or getting reviews, responding to those reviews automatically so you don't have to waste your time doing so, and then even repurposing those reviews into social media posts. So our segment is businesses because, again, we're a B2B. So we're not targeting Fred down the street because he doesn't need Google reviews. Again, this should be pretty broad, because that leads right into the next part of this, which is the T aspect, or targeting. So targeting is the specific group that you want to address in that broad niche, or in other words, in the segment. Now in the case of our business, we're segmenting to businesses, but our targeting aspect is for small to mid-sized businesses who actually can benefit from getting these reviews. And furthermore, not only benefit, but they see the value in reviews as well. So now we've confined the broad aspect of all businesses down to small to mid-sized businesses and ones who will see value in reviews, and obviously they all can benefit from reviews. Now I do want to give you kind of a forewarning because our targeting section is still pretty broad, but that's just because our service really is a broader service. That doesn't mean we're better than any other company or any other business. That's just how the nature of our service is. However, if you're selling pickleball paddles or pickleball stuff, you can't just be targeting a huge chunk of people. Now this leads me really quickly into why I want to explain why targeting is so essential. Because we were in the mindset, just like many other business owners that I've talked to personally, where you just ask, why don't I just sell to everybody? And the answer is quite simple, and it's that you just can't. Now, obviously, I'm going to break that down a little bit, but you just cannot sell to everybody. Even if you think of all the largest companies in the world, Facebook, Google, Apple, Samsung, these companies still can't sell to everybody because not everybody is in need or wants their product. The same concept applies even to the small to mid-sized level of businesses. Furthermore, you also need to keep this in mind. You are limited to resources. And even if you aren't limited to resources, it would still be wasting a lot of resources to try to target everybody. Now, when I say resources, I'm referring to time and money. So think of this scenario. You have a group of people that you know typically react very well and are typically buying your product the most. And then you have another group of people who somewhat will buy and somewhat will interact with your services or products. If you're trying to target everybody, you're going to be spending a lot of money on people who are just kind of iffy on if they're even going to use your product or not. Whereas if you just take all that extra money and resources you've been spending on them and you target this niche of people, the ones who are always interacting with your business or most likely to buy or interact with your business, then you're going to see a lot more growth and flourishing because you're targeting people who actually care and want and need your product or service. Again, if you're a dog company, you're not trying to target people who don't have dogs, or you're not trying to target cat owners. So again, this is a very crucial step because you need to make sure you don't target too little people, but you also don't want to target a too broad of range of people. So once you've gotten targeting down, this leads us to the last step of STP, which is positioning. So positioning is essentially asking, now that you know your target audience and your target customer, how are you going to position yourself to where you're intriguing to those people? An example of this is going to come from the price perspective. So let's take our business, for example. We have our segment down, we have our target down, and now we need to position. Well, knowing that our target audience is small to mid-sized businesses, we're not going to be trying to charge them $20,000 a month for our services. This just doesn't align with our target, so we'd be positioning ourselves incorrectly. So price plays a huge play or a portion into your positioning, but so does your services. So keep in mind, how can you be the most intriguing to your target customers once you have defined those target customers or your target audience? Now, I do want to throw in a really important note that I have on this. And this note will single-handedly make you more unique and help you beat your competition if you can understand this one little note. And this involves your USPs. Again, USPs is another fancy term for your unique selling points. And your unique selling points are essentially, what are you offering that is going to make people want to buy? And not only buy your product or service, but what makes you unique from other people. Now, I want to add on to this because I don't want you to just think of features or attributes that your product or service entails. Because in the end of the day, customers don't necessarily care for the features or attributes. What they care about is the benefits those bring them. So if you can identify the benefits that you bring and you can position yourself and sell that to the customers, you will see a much larger increase in sales and growth because now people are buying your benefits, not your features and products. For instance, our service comes with scheduling, calendars, automations, workflows, pipelines, all these things, which are really cool features and products. But at the end of the day, if I tell that to a business owner, are they going to care as much? No, they'll go like, okay, that's a lot of words. I understand some of it I don't understand. But then they'll just go like, no, thank you, because I don't understand what that would do. Whereas if I explain to them, everything we do is automatic, so it saves you a ton of time and it won't add any task to you, but also you get more visibility, higher SEO, thus leading to more customers and building a bigger online presence. Now they can see, okay, I see the benefits of all of these. So make sure that you are selling your benefits to the customers. And when positioning yourself, you need to display your benefits. And that's how you will position yourself in a unique way that'll outlast your competitors. Now for this segment, I do want to also mention that there's some other really good market analysis tools that you can use. Now, I'm not going to go in depth on them, but some really good ones that you can research yourself or look up is the 5 C's, which essentially is, again, you figuring out what your company is, who your competitors are, who your customers are, who are your collaborators, and what's the context of your business and where you are. Another really great market analysis tool is the SWOT analysis. And this stands for your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Now, another unique and very cool market analysis tool is the TAM, SAM, and SOM. So TAM means the total addressable market. This is theoretically who is everyone in your market. So if you're a local restaurant, technically everyone in the US can eat your food if you're based in the US. Next is SAM. So this brings it down to your serviceable addressable market, meaning more realistically, who can you actually service in your market? So if you're a local restaurant in Columbus, Ohio, technically your serviceable market is that 4-hour range. And this brings us to the third and most confined stage of this, which is SOM or SOM. I don't really know how to say it, but it's your serviceable obtainable market. So this brings it down and narrows it down to the most realistic market you can pursue. So again, as a local restaurant, you really shouldn't be trying to target people 4 hours away. Your ideal obtainable market is going to be probably in a 15 to 20 mile radius at most. If you want me to make a video about these things, feel free to comment below. However, we're gonna keep moving on. So the second segment of this, once you've figured out your STP plan, is actually putting these in action, or what I call your action plan. And what this is your 4 Ps marketing mix. Now the reason it has the mixing in it is because all 4 of these steps, you have to go in order to figure it out. And once you go in order, you gotta make sure all of these align or are mixed together. So once you figure out your STP, the 4 Ps consist of this. First, you got what is your product or service. The next is how are you gonna promote that product or service. The third P is place. Place just meaning how can I actually distribute my product or service, and where can I distribute that, or where is my service area pretty much. For instance, our business, we have businesses in Ohio, from Texas, and we have people in California. So we're not necessarily restricted to place. But if you're a local restaurant, you're not looking to try to position yourself or target people that are 200 miles away. That would just be a waste of money, whereas you can target people much closer. So once you figure out those 3 Ps, this leads you to the last P, which is price. The reason you have to understand everything before you come up with your price is because you're gonna have to know the cost and the realistic goals and expenses that you're going to incur, so you're not pricing yourself too low or too high. Because once you figure out your target audience and you figure out the 3 Ps, if you start pricing yourself incorrectly, this all goes down the drain because you're not going to be able to maximize your profits. I'll bring it back to the example again. To our business, I know our segment and our target, I know our product, our place, as well as how we promote ourselves. But if I just price us way too high, then it doesn't even align with the STP. But if I price us way too low, then we're incurring more expenses than we are making profit. Now we're on the 3rd segment of our video, and this is a very crucial aspect because we ask this to our clients ourselves because it helps them understand their business even more, and it helps them to consistently improve. Because this is not a question that they just ask once, but this is a question that they ask almost every time they're doing something. And it's 3 simple questions. So I'm gonna ask these questions to you, and take a second to pause if you really want, write them down, because I'm gonna ask these questions and I really want you to think about each part of these. So the first is, what is your goal? The next is, how are you currently trying to pursue or attain that goal? And the third is, what can you do or what can you improve to help you get that goal faster or overachieve that goal? If you can ask yourself and be honest and transparent and realistic with yourself with these questions, you'll be able to figure out exactly what you're trying to achieve and where you're gonna go, as well as how you can get that. Now, I also wanna have one caveat. These need to be as quantitative as possible. Meaning when you're setting goals, you need to have number values assigned to those. Maybe it's profits per month, per quarter, per year, whatever fits your business best. The more quantitative it is, the better and easier it is to ground yourself so you can actually track that progress. Because if you say, I just want to increase sales, technically getting $1 more is increasing sales, which for some people might be what their business is trying to pursue. But typically a long-term goal is not just to get $1 richer. So be very realistic with your goals and be very quantitative with those goals and be very realistic on how you're going to try to achieve them. And again, when you're answering the question of what am I currently doing, you have to be very realistic as well. It's not what are you theoretically doing, it's what are you actually doing and what have you done to try to achieve this goal that you have. This way you can actually see where you can improve. All right, guys, we have gone through all 3 of the segments, and I promise you, if you just follow these in order, you'll have a much more solid marketing strategy than you did if you haven't done these things before. Now again, there's so many other resources you can use and so many other market analysis tools, and there's so much that goes into a marketing strategy. You gotta remember, this is the basics, and the basics are extremely impactful. So I promise you, if you follow these steps, you can develop a marketing strategy today. Thank you so much for watching this video and sticking around this long. If you want more videos like this, comment below some other video ideas, or if you have any questions about what I talked about today, or even if you disagree with what I have to say. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.